Thank you, Yifan. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the BSN Spartan network operation, what it is, how it works, and talk a little bit about some of the use cases that we've been working on. So to reiterate a couple of the key points that Yifan mentioned, the mission behind what we're doing at the BSN is to promote this new concept of a public layer of the internet. And then what we do is we build the software for the cloud environment that enables people to build on top of that and build applications that support this public IT system concept. There are three key elements of the BSN Spartan network that we just launched. The first is the Spartan Data Center software. So the software, you can go up to GitHub. I'll show you the page later. It's free to install. It's open source. As Yifan said, it's anonymous. We encourage people to go through the code, check it. If you find anything, any bugs and things like that, please feel free to feed back to us, right? This is an open source project. The initial BSN Spartan network integrates three non-crypto public chains: a non-crypto version of Ethereum, a non-crypto version of Cosmos, and a non-crypto version of Polygon Edge. Over time, we will integrate new chains into the infrastructure, right? We believe in competition and giving people choice in technology. We know that there are certain chains that are better suited to particular industries or segments or have developer communities around them. So we're going to continue to integrate chains because we believe that that drives innovation. In order to use the network, we've created this concept of NTT, or non-tradable tokens. And I think sometimes when we've talked about NTT to people, they say, it is a cryptocurrency. We see it's a token. Don't focus too much on the token. The token is a utility token, right? It cannot be traded. It's not a speculative asset. It's essentially just a token as a way to use the network. That token can be purchased with fiat currency or, as Yifan said, anonymously with USDC. So the non-tradable token, if you were a user and you bought non-tradable token, or a data center operator using a credit card, using USDC, that then goes into an NTT account, which enables you to purchase gas credits to power all of the different non-crypto public chains on our network. So these NTT or non-tradable tokens can only be used to power the network. They're not speculative assets. They can't be moved from one wallet to another. Okay, that's a really important concept here. So why public IT systems? We think that there are three real clear benefits to public IT systems. The first is transparency. Unlike a private IT system, the data can be transparent to anyone on the BSN Spartan network. So imagine ESG, carbon credits, where companies are trying to comply with ESG requirements and tracking carbon credits and usage. Companies have an inherent interest in making that transparent so that everyone can see it, everyone can validate it, and they know that it's true. So we think that's a great use case that helps support the transparency. Easy connectivity is the second big benefit. An example we often used is Swift, although Swift is inherently a centralized system. One of the key benefits of Swift is through one single connection, a financial services organization can immediately connect to over 11,000 other organizations, just with that one single connection. So we think that easy connectivity will be another key benefit for the BSN Spartan network in creating networks among different partners and companies and being able to connect to a massive network with a single connection. And maybe the most important and revolutionary is data ownership. So we see a world of public IT systems where all of your user data, which today sits on back-end systems for Facebook and Google and Amazon and Alibaba, and all of that data, your data, is on those back-end systems. In the future, we see a world where there could be an individual data wallet, where all of your individual data, whether it's your health data, your financial information, lives within that personal data vault, and you have the private key. And if a website or a service or a business wants to interact with you and interact with your data, that transaction takes place not in their private back-end IT system, but in your personal data vault, controlled by your private key, where you control what type of access, who has that access, and what data they're able to see. All of this is enabled by this concept of public IT systems that we're trying to build. The BSN Foundation will be the BSN Spartan network is a decentralized network that's going to be governed by the BSN Foundation, which is set up in Singapore. There will be 3 committees that will help advance this initiative around public IT systems. A technical committee, which will look at new R&D initiatives. How do we improve chains? How do we build better database technologies to support public IT systems? A business committee, which will manage the income distributions for the organization and the network. And then a governance committee managing the voting process among the members. There will be 5 members to start at the launch, 10 by the end of this year, and we will have 30 then by the end of 2023. And as Yifan said earlier, this is truly a decentralized network. The companies that we are engaging to be members of the foundation are large international technology companies, financial services organizations, big, well-known companies that everyone will know, and that will help govern this network. So with the launch, anyone can go up now to spartan.bsn Foundation and get the white paper, get the quick guide, start testing, create wallets. The software, the data center, virtual data center software for BSN Spartan is available up on GitHub now. I took this screenshot last night. Anyone can now go up there, provide an email address, and download the virtual data center software and set up their virtual data center on this network. This is live now and accessible to everyone. So stepping back a little bit, Yifan said that this is a crazy idea. But I want to give you some insight into why we think this crazy idea will work. We launched a network in China. Again, the BSN Spartan network is for all markets outside of China. But inside of China, we launched a network at the end of January called the BSN DDC network, which shares some similarities to Spartan. One of the key similarities is it integrates multiple public chains that don't have cryptocurrency, that's targeted at enterprise blockchain use cases. We launched at the end of January. As of a week ago, we had over 1,300 businesses or organizations that had registered on the platform, that were creating NFT marketplaces or other types of blockchain-related business and services. We now regularly have well over 1 million transactions on that network every day. To put that in context, every day now, there are more transactions on our BSN DDC network just in China than on the global Ethereum mainnet for a network that is barely 6 months old. There are over 20 million wallets registered on this network and over 3 million official BSN DDCs or NFTs have been minted. These are only the official ones using our smart contract. Our estimate is there are 10 or 20 million more non-official BSN DDCs or NFTs. So these numbers for a network that launched just at the end of January give us a lot of confidence about the market or the potential for the BSN Spartan. There's something else that also gives us a lot of confidence. When we first announced this network at the end of May here in Hong Kong, my team and I began working with several dozen local Hong Kong companies because we knew we wanted to make the launch about Hong Kong. And every time we met with a company, my first concern was, okay, we're going to go in, we're going to talk to these traditional IT guys from traditional IT companies and start talking about public blockchain technology. And they're going to immediately, okay, it's a crazy idea. This is, we're a big business. We're a financial institution. We're a stock exchange. We're a government agency. We're a big supply chain company. This is too radical for us. Without exception, each of those meetings turned into a use case, some of which we're going to talk about today, some of which are still in development. Because what was so interesting and fascinating to me was how quickly traditional IT people understood the value of public chain technologies. But again, without exception, they said, look, we've always been interested in this. We wanted to explore it. But the cryptocurrency part of it has been difficult for us. And so even today, I've had a couple of our partners come up and say, thank you for creating this network. This is great. We love public chain technologies, but we didn't want to get involved in cryptocurrencies. A funny story as an aside, we were working internally last night as a team on issuing a press release, which we've sent over the wire over the last hour. And the agency that we were working with said, well, because your press release mentions the term crypto and also the word token, some of our markets are very concerned about that. So we don't want to issue the press release because some of the media in some countries may refuse it. So it's interesting that even for a non-crypto infrastructure, people are very worried about cryptocurrencies. So I think that's the fact that we were able to get so many mainstream businesses, leading organizations here in Hong Kong, very innovative organizations, building use cases, is another key indicator that this network will be a big success. So I encourage all of you to continue with the event today. We have a number of our use case partners who are going to get up and talk about what they've built on the BSN Spartan. And one of the things that I would emphasize is that the use cases that they're going to show you today are not conceptual. This is not just PowerPoint. These are actual smart contracts, actual proof of concept applications that these businesses see value in developing. So I think all of you who've come will learn a lot from our partners in talking about the innovations on the BSN Spartan network. And so I encourage everyone to stick around, and I'm going to introduce one of our partners now to come up and speak about one of the use cases.